Post-it, app, to-do list, schedule. Have you tried everything, but it seems like nothing can organize your life? Right? It's because the tool doesn't matter much if you don't know yourself or how to apply it in a way that works for you. I developed a method that helped me a lot, and now I'm much more productive. Check it out in the first link in the description. Hey, ADHD. All right. I'm Yuri Maya from ADHD Uncomplicated. And what can make your ADHD worse? We know that ADHD is a disorder that is predominantly genetic, meaning it's something you're born with. And throughout life, you start noticing some difficulties, some stumbling blocks that life brings your way. However, there are factors that can help ADHD as a treatment as you understanding yourself. Like if you, a young child with ADHD, parents understanding better, being in an inclusive school, for example, all of this makes life easier for someone with ADHD. But is there anything that can make it worse? ADHD. And the answer is yes. There are recent studies showing that people who are born with ADHD, meaning they have that genetic predisposition, they are greatly affected. These symptoms, they are greatly affected by your environment. ADHD is a disorder that tends to flare up much more if there's an environment that fosters it. For example, it has been proven that children who grow up in unstable homes, usually with separated parents or often with relatives who fight a lot among themselves. And especially if that child sees themselves as part of the problem, if they hear their parents, for example, fighting in the room, them saying that it's your fault, that you don't pay attention, it's your fault, kid, that you don't behave, anything like that. This really is a factor that worsens the symptoms. When a child is in a conflictual environment, everything is related to the environment, everything goes through the environment, and especially when they feel like they are part of the problem, feeling guilty about it. In other words, being in that environment can lead the child to develop, including significant comorbidities. Like depression, even if it's childhood depression, can lead to developing ODD, which is oppositional defiant disorder, and it can also cause conduct disorder later on. There in adolescence, this usually happens when you have an oppositional disorder that isn't well identified, and the parents, instead of giving love, instead of understanding, knowing how to deal with and understand that child who has developed ODD, which is oppositional defiant disorder, they end up being harsher with the child, punishing them even more, being even more repressive. And this child, they will have two options, or she will completely shut down, will become a child with extremely low self-esteem. She won't be able to express herself throughout her life, will live with that trauma, or she might rebel. She might want to take it out on everything. In all of them, she will really want to not follow anyone's orders. She can develop a very withdrawn behavior. Okay. So it's really important for you to understand that ADHD needs to be treated very well. He can't have conflict between the father and the mother. Sometimes the mother wants to pursue treatment. I noticed that, on my own social media, the mother wants to pursue treatment. She wants to understand ADHD better. And usually parents think it's just a matter of not spanking. Oh, the same thing happened to me, but you know how it is, right? 30, 40, 50 years ago, life was different. The world was different. And nowadays, you can't ignore ADHD anymore, as if it were just a matter of not spanking or any nonsense like that. This no longer applies now in 2022, so treat ADHD. If you don't treat it, if you ignore the signs, or if you don't manage the conflicts that you're already witnessing, if your child is already showing signs of ODD or even conduct disorder, take them to therapy. Take them to the doctor and try to provide proper guidance. In this case, so yes, if you don't take care, if you don't know how to manage it, ADHD can get worse. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to learn more about ADHD, join our ADHD in Action Club for adults with ADHD. We have weekly recorded classes where you'll understand various issues, how to know how to deal with and overcome obstacles in the life of someone with ADHD. Besides our community where we're helping each other every week, actually every day, cool. So click here on the card, click on the link that's in the video description too. See you next video. See you later. Bye-bye. Low self-esteem, the feeling of being a bother, thinking 1,000 times before giving your opinion in front of others. Many of these symptoms affect people with ADHD, and I was one of them. I invested in self-knowledge, tried various strategies, and after a lot of training and practice, I developed a method to overcome all of this. And you can also learn about this method in the first link in the description.